It's the Illest Podcast, and I'm your host, as always, Mr. Pierre Sledge. And today I got one of my sidekicks, my loyal sidekicks here with me. I got Cliff, and we're gonna speak about Mr. Black Messiah himself, Obama. So let's do it. All right. So my man,
Good morning.
my man, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm excellent today. It's good.
Good.
Yeah. Good morning. That'll work. But anyway, let's talk about Obama. So Obama, not often in the spotlight these days, but yesterday or the day before, he was over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he was speaking to a small group of voters, specifically some potential black voters. And apparently what I get from it is from the Democratic Party, they have polling and all this stuff. My guess is some of the data must have come back and not in favor of the Democrats. And it sounded like he mentioned something like there were some people who were undecided, or there were some black men specifically that were undecided, or they were thinking about voting somewhere else. So
You're absolutely right.
Right. So they send the heavy artillery out to speak to black men. So it's a video circulating out there. I'll post it in the description. The one I have is it's from the Pittsburgh Gazette, but it's from ABC News. So I'll post it in the description so you can see it if you hadn't seen it. It's about 5 minutes, but I encourage all of you to watch it. But Cliff, you watched it, correct?
I did watch it.
Right.
I did.
Go ahead and tell us what you thought about it.
Well, I mean, initially, what I thought about it was, just like you said, they bringing out the heavy artillery. Something had to come up to where the Democratic Party saw the black vote as declining, or not as they had predicted.
Right.
I think the Democratic Party automatically assumed that they have the black vote, and when they saw the data, it wasn't that case. From the Obama speaking, I felt like it was a scolding to black men. I felt like there was a specific target area that he was supposed to come in and lecture to.
But you did.
I think that these parties need to earn your vote, because black men who he was speaking to specifically, the brothers, was said multiple times.
Yeah,
it was that black. They don't know these politicians nothing. I mean, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So who the hell do they think they are? Scolding grown black men over who they should vote for.
Right.
So there's so many black men are standing up proudly and speaking out against this, and I'm happy that you took this platform to bring it to light.
Right.
I did not approve of it. It basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and to preface this, Cliff and I both hold no party allegiance. We're just kind of reacting off of some of the things we see, and I would say my thoughts about his conversation or speech to these black men, it was very similar to yours. I thought it was very condescending. It came off like like we were being shamed, and like you said, scolded is a great word. And I really take offense to that. And this is Obama. This is our guy, man. I supported this guy, and he doesn't often make faux pas like this, but it was a little bit disappointing, man, because basically you're making the assumption, okay, on one hand, I hear black people, a lot of black YouTubers, black people in general, talk about how they don't want to be lumped in and generalized and all of this. And then when voting season comes around, that's exactly what they want you to do. Just be monolithic. And I think that's it's such a contradictory way of doing things, and that's exactly what he's telling us to do. He's asking us to play identity politics, or my bad, he's telling us to. At some point, he even said, "I'm not okay with that." You know, and it's like your dad or something, man. And it's like, look, we're grown men.
Yeah,
we are grown
exactly.
men. I'm not okay with that. It's like you said, our voting should be transactional. What can you do for me? What can you give us to make our world better? That's ultimately it's one for one. You do something, and you'll get this. Or, you know what I mean? I'll give you this if you do this. It's transactional. Go ahead.
It was totally out of character for Obama, I thought.
Yeah, and I understand to some degree because it's a new voting cycle. He does have to come out and support his party mate, but that was too much.
To me, it leaves a scapegoat on the backside. If Vice President Harris, and this is just my personal opinion, if Vice President Harris does not win, there's a scapegoat to say, if she loses, black men will be to blame for it. Not because of her candidacy, but because black men didn't vote for her, if that makes sense.
Didn't think about that. Yeah, that's quite possible. That's quite possible, but...
And maybe I'm reaching, but to bring Obama, I didn't think I would see Obama come out.
Not for this. I mean, he was in the DNC, which you always expect. You expect him in the DNC, but not this. And it just it's really demeaning to me because it presumes that we can only make we should only make generalized decisions. Like basically he's telling us to vote for people who look like us no matter what. And I hate that term. Everybody's saying it, and it just came out. But I can't stand people saying that, people who look like you, people who look like us. It's just whatever. But he's basically telling us that, you know, that's just the way to go. And I just don't necessarily agree with that. I don't really subscribe to that anymore. There was a time where I used to, but I'm not doing it just because a person is this, just because a person is that. I tell you what I haven't heard a lot about is policy. I don't hear about that. They're not talking about policy. It's all this other stuff that makes you all ooey and gooey in the inside.
I agree with that. And if you look at these younger black voters, Americans, they are increasingly distancing themselves from the Democratic Party.
I have seen a lot.
They face fewer struggles. Say again.
I have been seeing a lot of it. I'm really surprised. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, and I think the reason is that many are focused on like their personal success, shaped by social influences that prioritize individualism. It's led to some critical views of political options based off superficial assessments rather than going through the venting, if that makes sense. I've seen, like you were talking about earlier, about the YouTubers reacting to the debates, but it's all uneducated assumptions. Nobody's doing the research, where unlike earlier generations that valued intelligence and character, they often support candidates that, like you said, look like us, that promise that personal gain to make decisions than the research.
Yeah, and that's how I think voting should be done. It should be the most informed, decision you can make. You find out as much as you can and make an informed decision. And that's how it should
Mm-hmm.
be done. No more, no less. Not because of what someone looks like or what or gender or anything, any of these other things. What does that matter? None of that has anything to do with character or
No.
integrity or sincerity. None of it. It's not tied to anything. And that's the thing that I detest about the system currently. And I love how he even mentioned there isn't any other choice, and that's actually false. It's funny to me how it's Obama's what his choice is. I don't even want to say the name, because YouTube is tricky, but it's like this is the choice or bust. But it's like, it's funny to me. It's not even like there's a black man currently running for president. Do people even know that? Cornel West is running for president. He's out of the Independent Party. Does anybody do people know that? It's a black man.
Have you seen him on any platforms publicly? No.
I've seen a really short interview with him, and I can't remember where he was, but I haven't seen him on mainstream media at all. Mm-hmm. And that's, I'm just saying to push back on Obama and some of these other people. It's like, how come we aren't getting behind this independent black party? This independent party black man who's running. It's as if he doesn't even exist. And then and then there's another woman, Jill Stein. She's running out of the Green Party. She's running. I've seen her. I've seen her.
They split it down the middle, P.
I know. I'm just that's the point I'm making. It's the bipartisan or bust thing, and basically big bank take little bank, because if you don't have the billions or millions or billions of dollars to campaign, you're out of there, and that's what it boils down to. So these people get no run. But I'm saying, if you're doing research and you're paying attention, you would know this. And it's funny to me you don't hear Obama pining for.
No, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. It takes money to make money, right? That's what they basically say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing that I remember, we were talking about this a while back, and they had the presidential debate, and it was just them two, just those two.
Yeah.
But if we have other candidates running, they should be able to get their piece in too, get their speech in too. Unless you research it and you know about it, you're going to be uninformed about it. I can guarantee you there's a high percentage of people that don't know about another candidate.
Yeah. Yep. So it's unfortunate, man, but that's how it is. And I just really hated to see it, Obama coming at us like that, because he seemed salty. He seemed very salty, and I was like, wow, you only have daughters, my guy. You only have daughters. You don't have you're out here trying to son us.
That's why I use the term scolded.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good term as well. It was like a dad telling you, I am disappointed in you, son.
Totally. And that's just not the way you. I just don't think that's the way they should tackle trying to get this point across. It's manipulative. It's it isn't really saying anything, because again, he's talking about her. He's talking about, there is no other choice. He's not really saying much about the policies. You know what I mean? So it's just like he's not even going into detail of really why. I didn't really see that. Maybe somewhere else he is, but I didn't see that on the video I saw. It was just pretty much the chastisement. And there may be more, but this part.
There's more, but this was the part that stood out to majority of people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because it was offensive.
Yeah, yeah. It basically telling us where we need to vote. And the thing is this: is it just me, or don't we all have a constitutional right to vote where we want? And that's it. You just if you're going to participate in a system or have faith in the system, you got to be okay with whatever the result is, whatever the people choose. I understand you could sit and say, hey, you guys should do this, but you're coming out and tell us there's no other choice. Like you're shaming us.
Hmm. Let me ask you this, P. Do you think with this statement that he did, it hurt the Democratic Party?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
No, because Barack Obama walks around with a visible aura to black people. You know what I mean? he does, and he can do no wrong, and he can. And believe me, man, I hope you're prepared, because we're probably going to get roasted for this, for saying anything against him. And look, we're not even tearing Obama down. He's our guy. He's our guy for the most part, you know. But
he is.
Yeah, but I mean, we can, if he does something we don't agree with, we can say so, and that's it. But yeah, he pretty much. I think they're gonna accept or hear anything he has to say, and they'll defend it, and that's fine. But as a black man, I'm a little offended by this.
I don't think you're alone on that, because I was as well, and I would assume if you talk to people that other black men have talked about this, you're going to have some that think, yes, we needed this to be said to us, but some that looked at it as a chastisement of, it's like I said earlier, you have when you're at home and you're young with your parents. You got stuff that you talk about in-house that is not public knowledge. You don't put family business out in the street, and that's how I feel.
That's how you raise, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I feel it came off. And with that being said, I think we looked at it as a family like, okay, wow, you done stepped out and now you done brought everybody into our business, because right now this is one of the biggest platforms as far as how our nation is going to be shaped the next 4 years or somewhat. And now you see this, and that's why I asked you that question. Do you think it hurts the Democratic Party? I personally do, because I personally think that it's going to be taken as, oh, now they're trying to shame you. Now they're chastising you. Now they're telling you who you should vote for. No policies behind it, but just because, they're just like us, or they look like us, or whatnot. Yeah. And I think the other party's going to spin it that way.
It's interesting, man. That's interesting. I mean, it's a little different from how I think, and you know what? That's okay. But you know what? Let's give it to the people. Let's see what they think, man. What do you think? Hit the like button, please. Subscribe and hit us in the comments and let us know what you think. Cliff, thank you for this one.
Absolutely.
We'll see you on the next one. Peace.